Pregame is brought to you by Meloche Palace Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 3800 South Lapeer Road in Lake Orion. Meloche's Palace has been servicing Lake Orion's automotive needs since the 1960s.
The 2015 Dragon season comes to an end tonight. It's a red division, white division crossover game with the Farmington Falcons. We've got it all for you here on Orion Neighborhood Television. Good evening, everyone. I'm Doug Corliss along with Chris Fritching. Chris, it is the final game for the Dragons tonight. They're not going to make the playoffs, but this is still an important game for them. The seniors want to go out with a win.
Absolutely. I don't care what level you're playing at, in high school, youth football, college and pros. It's a sense of pride, and you want to go out and represent Lake Orion the best you can. And it's a sense of not only understanding that tonight is an important game from a senior standpoint. Last time sometimes these kids will ever play and put on the uniform, especially the LO uniform. But, it's also a sense of pride for those juniors, because putting themselves in game experience situations tonight, whomever's playing out there, is really important for the development of those kids. But they also, again, we want to put that lasting memory out there, putting all their blood, sweat, and tears they've worked hard all year on, and make sure that they leave it there on the field tonight.
Farmington comes in. These two teams have only met once, and this is a really important game for the Falcons. They win and they're in. They lose and they sit.
Yeah, there's no question. This is a playoff type atmosphere for them, and I hope Lake Orion takes it and approaches it that same way as well, because when it's all said and done, they can play spoiler tonight. And Farmington's got a good football team. We'll talk about some of their players obviously in the course of tonight, but there's no question they're a good football team, and it's a huge game for Farmington.
We talked a little bit last week about schools consolidating, and the Farmington schools are facing the same thing. The very strong rumor is, and I guess it's almost a 90% certainty, that Farmington Hills Harrison will close at the end of this year. Those students will be absorbed both by Farmington and by North Farmington, and in the wild, wacky world of OAA realignment, we may see either Farmington or North Farmington in the white division or in the red division in the next year or two.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it over the years, the quality football programs at that white level. You're talking 600, 700, 800, fewer kids typically in a lot of these white division schools, but you combine 3 into 2 high schools in Farmington. You're right, you might have 2 Farmington schools come on up, and what's all said and done, the opportunity for kids to play and be a part of being around this great game, that's what's the most important thing. As long as the kids don't lose an opportunity to participate in interscholastic sports, that's what it's all about.
It's a red versus white crossover, the Dragons and the Falcons. Stay with us.
Our first quarter of action is underwritten by Jets Pizza, offering pizzas, subs, salads, and wings, and more with 2 convenient locations in the Orion area. Jets Pizza, a proud supporter of ONTV since 2009. And Be Zany, Party Warehouse, offering everything from fun hats, costumes, toys, and party supplies for every occasion. Located at 3970 South Baldwin Road in Orion Township. Be Zany is your home for everything party.
Kickoff, the Lake Orion Dragons and the Farmington Falcons. The Falcons are coached by head coach John Bechtel. He's in his 17th year, 89-79 overall. And he's been to the playoffs 9 years. Last year, the Falcons finished 7-3, lost to Oak Park in the first round. This year, they've beaten Royal Oak Park, Rochester Adams, and Rochester. Chris, you've got your keys to the game.
Yeah, I think tonight Lake Orion's got to focus, number one, on containing or corralling what I call Farmington's three-headed backfield. Quality running backs, both tailback, fullback, at all levels on this football team. By far the best backfield Lake Orion will have seen all season long, even talking about Nolan Erickson and Clarkston. Number 2, Jakar Jackson, 6 foot, 190 pounds, is already committed to Central Michigan. David Reese at number 3, he primarily a fullback, but a 4-year starter here at Farmington, 6'2", 230, has committed to University of Michigan. And then Kyle Brunson, 6'1", 195. He too is no question a Division I player. Runs about a 4.55 40. He rushed for only 307 yards last week against Birmingham Seaholm. So he's a pretty good ball player as well. And then secondly, I think Lake Orion's got to contain or pressure sophomore quarterback J. Drew McGovern. The kid's a sophomore, pretty inconsistent, low completion percentage. He has a tendency to hold the ball too long and really likes to throw deep, but that contributes to those inconsistencies deep. So you put pressure on McGovern and get to the football that way defensively and contain that three-headed backfield, as I mentioned. Lake Orion's in for a decent night tonight.
We'll pause as Director of Bands Michael Steele takes the podium and the playing of our national anthem. Our officiating crew tonight is an Oakland County crew. Referee is Bob Chakowski. Head linesman is Dave Crenshaw. Line judge is Kevin Kitna. Joe Denemy is the umpire. He's the crew chief. And the back judge is Ed McCool. And Chris, talking to Coach Bell, I mean, the Dragons, he started listing the starters that started week 1 that are out tonight, and there's a good 6 or 8 of them. We just found out Jalen Wiggins is out again for tonight, still has not cleared the concussion protocols, and they lost Mike Jarvis last week at Clarkston. He sprained 2 ligaments in his left knee. So the injuries are hitting him. But you know, that's part of football, and like Coach Bell said, it's next man up.
It's next man up, and that's why you have 70-plus individuals on the varsity roster, and that's why you develop those kids at the JV and the freshman level to allow that growth and that development of when those situations happen, because you're right, it's going to happen in the game of football, and the ability to develop those kids and have a core coaching staff at that JV and freshman level that are developing kids and preparing them and getting them ready for this action. That's what's so important. That's what good football programs do.
We will remind you that the scoreboard in this first half is brought to you by Paul's Carpet Shine. Paul's Carpet Shine is a family-owned carpet and tile cleaning company serving North Oakland County. Check them out at Paul's Carpet Shine. farmingtonfalcons.com. Also, for the second home game in a row, this game is being streamed live. It's a partnership in conjunction with Orion Neighborhood Television and the Lake Orion High School Dragon Broadcast Program. And the director of the broadcast media program, Roger Smith, and his students helping us out. ONTV bringing this in a live stream again tonight. The Dragons will receive, they're going to go left to right across your television screen. And replays will once again be sponsored by Jets Pizza. Jets Pizza with 2 convenient locations in the Orion area. Proud supporters of ONTV since 2009. Bailey King kicks off for Farmington, and we're underway. Low end over end kick, taken on the 10, up to the 15, 20, and over to the 30-yard line was number 28, Jawan Bronner. So the Dragons go on offense first. Caden Prescorn at quarterback.
Kickoff return to the Dragons 33-yard line.
This first drive for Lake Orion is so crucial. Last week against Clarkston, after Clarkston was forced to punt on their first drive, Lake Orion drove it all the way down inside the Clarkston 5-yard line and was turned over on downs on 4th down. So had they scored in that first drive, that would have been huge for that particular momentum in the game. Need to start off well here tonight.
Number 44, Zach Pratson at running back. He gets the carry. He's up over the 35 to the 36-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll bring up 2nd and 7.
There's key parts in every single game that you just don't know. 4, 5, 6 plays in every single game that really oftentimes dictate who's going to come out on top. Obviously, the key is to be on the better side of those 4, 5, 6 plays. Which plays are going to stand out tonight?
Brody Kutzer splits wide left. Danny White on the carry, sweep around the left end. He gets a yard.
Number 24, Danny White, the ball carrier.
And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 for the Dragons.
We're going to talk defensively about number 3 for the Falcons. David Reese, their linebacker, comes in, and along with number 52 that time, Victor Djukov.
I hope that's right. So 3rd and 5. Prescorn back to pass. Looks, throws out. Caught. Number 13, Noah Harris, and he got the first down. He knew where the sticks were, went 1 yard past and came back for the ball.
Yeah, nice ball. He knew where the sticks were, you're right, and just over the outstretched hands of number 5, Kyle Brunson, for a big Lake Orion first down.
Double wide, double slot look for the Dragons. Padson's a lone setback. He gets the carry up the middle. Gain of probably 3.
You talked about Farmington's schedule this year, and they're 5-3 obviously, and they've lost some tough games. The last game they lost was against Farmington Hills Harrison in a tough battle. Harrison's 7-1 now, and they're playing tonight versus West Bloomfield, who's 8-0. So they're a very good football team with a lot of talent.
2nd down and 8 for the Dragons. Trips to the left, single wide out to the right. Prescorn looks, sets up a screen, and dropped. He had to float the ball over the oncoming rushers and just got it behind Padson.
Yeah, it was thrown you're right, there's the handoff inside the play earlier, but that screen was set up nicely. Yes, the ball was thrown a little bit behind. Number 3 linebacker, middle linebacker David Reese would have probably been there for the tackle. 3rd and 8 right now for the Dragons. Prescorn in the gun. Drops back to Pat, pressure, gets flushed out of the pocket, takes it across the 50, knows where the sticks are, gets the first down into Farmington territory. Tackled and brought down about the 40-yard line.
I just went over to the public address booth, and number 44 is Keith Fields tonight. I was wondering why we didn't see him out there, and that's why. So Zach Pratson, we gave you some props early, but that's only because on the start of the season roster we had, you were listed as number 44. So Keith Fields goes from his usual number 3 to number 44. We have a timeout on the field. I don't know what's...
I don't know what happened. There's officials there at about the 46-yard line talking, at least a couple of them. I think one of the officials got dinged up or on that play. Prescorn was flushed out of the pocket up the middle, and
Joe Denemy is the umpire, and if he gets flushed out and hit, that's a lot to flush out and hit. And it is. Umpire Joe Denemy's walking a little gingerly back into his umpire position. So it's 1st and 10 for the Dragons.
And this, we talk about development of kids, and as Caden Prescorn, he's a sophomore. He's grown a lot this year, and the ability to add the running game to his repertoire is something that can really make him very special.
42, Chris Wilson, right up the middle, gain of about 7. It'll bring up 2nd down and 3. They're giving them a gain of 8, 2nd down and 2.
Chris Wilson has come and run the ball hard in his limited carries this year. He's averaging 6.3 yards a carry on the season.
Victor Devuchkaj on the stop for Farmington. Keith Fields again up the middle, stopped by number 72, Andrew McLeod. 6'3", 285 senior. They got some big players on their lines.
Yeah, they do. They're fast and they're pretty physical, but Lake Orion sustaining had done a nice job this opening drive.
Twins to the left, single slot receiver to the right. Motion coming this side, and we have a flag on the play. It's a dead ball, illegal procedure against the Dragons. That'll back them up 5, make it 1st and 15.
Yeah, Keith Fields just doesn't look right in that 44 jersey.
No, he doesn't.
The
numbers almost look too big for the shirt. So 1st and 15, 8:30 left here in the first quarter, no score. Prescorn on the draw to Fields, up the middle, breaks a tackle, gets into the second wave, and they're going to mark him down on the 25. That'll bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Dragons.
Little draw play, and nice job downfield by Justin Cathers right there to open up a little hole. And Fields, as we've talked about all year long, has that nice vision, was able to cut back and make it 2nd and 7.
Slot receiver to the left, motion left. Keith Fields again, breaks a tackle, spins away, gets a 1st down. Brought down by number 4, Kavinda Harith. Good spin move to break a tackle, right? Nope, it's right there. Also on tackle number 7, Andre Sarfo. So 1st and 10 for the Dragons. Ball's on the 16. Chris Wilson up the middle, and he's stacked up. Number 4, Kavinda Harith on the stop for Farmington. And this is one of the things we touched on in pregame. The white division is a tough division in the OAA.
No question. They've got some good football there.
2nd and 9. Prescorn back to throw. Looks, throws over the head of number 81, Tyler Barkley. That'll bring up a 3rd and long.
Tyler Barkley runs from his little slot route right there, and you know he's got separation. He's on top of the defender, number 2, Jakar Jackson, but the ball thrown a little bit high and a little bit deep.
So 3rd and 9.
It's one thing Lake Orion hasn't done a lot of this year is throw to the tight end.
Noah Harris split wide to the left. Danny White in a slot left. Chris Wilson's a lone setback. Prescorn, short drop, looks, goes for the fade in the corner, incomplete. So that'll bring up a 4th down and 9, and the Dragons are going to do a field goal attempt. Luke Bevilacqua out for the attempt.
Bevilacqua 2 of 6 on the year. He's 1 of 2 from 30 to the range of 30 to 39. This will be about a 32-yard field goal.
Scott Ciora is the holder. Number 70, Jeff McCarty, is the long snapper. Ball's down, kick is up. High kick, and the kick is good. He got that ball a long way up in the air. 6:55 left here in the first quarter. The Dragons take a 3-0 lead.
DVD copies can be purchased by calling ONTV at 248-693-3377 or 248-393-1060. For only $10, you can get a copy of not only this game, but any game or program in our broadcast vault. That's DVD copies, 248-693-3377 or 248-393-1060.
Have a special guest in the booth tonight.
Yeah, I thought I'd bring my daughter Taryn Fritching here, and she's here being our spotter and helping us out here and enjoying the nice comforts of the booth here.
She's quickly learning that we need all the help we can get. Number 9, Josh Turner, one of the deep backs for Farmington, along with number 7, Andre Sarfo. Bevilacqua will kick off. They're going to change the ball out.
Don't you dare talk about.
We are not going to talk about underinflated footballs.
And that's exactly what they're doing, though.
It is.
Oh, they did. Or they did. Oh, they did switch it out. You're right.
Coach Bell and I had a discussion about that. Told him, I says, his quarterbacks never had to worry. I always kept the footballs inflated to 13 PSI, and he said, you should have seen what we did after I came out to set the bench up. There's quite a discussion going on about the footballs now. They found one that the officials like.
Interesting. You think that would have been a discussion at all tonight, or had the deflate gate not happened over the past X number of months?
You know what? It went on longer than it ever should have.
Yes.
And as we were talking, we've seen so many instances in the past couple weeks that the kicking game and special teams are more important than they're given credit for. Ball's taken out on the 5, up to the 15, the 20, over to 30, over to 40, and brought down right at midfield. Bevilacqua helped make the tackle.
What were you saying about special teams?
Well, you know what?
Did you know that was going to happen? I mean, you just called it. Talk about giving Farmington good field position.
I said for years that every practice should be 1/3 offense, 1/3 defense, 1/3 special teams.
Well, you know what? It's big because certainly we talked briefly about Farmington playing Harrison. Farmington lost that game by by 1 point. They missed 2 extra points.
Backs in an I formation. Handed to the deep back. That's
Number 5.
swarmed over.
Is the ball carrier.
Kyle Brunson.
Kyle Brunson, number 5.
Simjonovsky.
J. Drew McGovern.
Down at the 43-yard line.
I'm going to watch tonight. David Reese is number 3. He's their fullback primarily, and he has a tendency to make some nice fullback blocks. It depends on what Michigan wants to do with him playing at the next level. He wants to play linebacker. He's a pretty darn good fullback, I'll say. But you run behind a guy like that, and you'll see some of his blocks tonight. Brunson had a great game last week carrying the football for Farmington. A lot of it has to do with the fullback in front of him.
Brunson's the deep back. He gets the carry, cuts, play fake, throw deep down to number 9, Josh Turner. Excellent play fake by McGovern that throws the Dragon defense.
Down at the 9-yard line. First down, Farmington.
Yeah, the play action fake to Brunson that time, and you're right. That's what Lake Orion's got to do. They're about a half step slow and getting into McGovern's face, and he got the ball off, was able to complete the ball deep to Turner, and they get inside the 10-yard line, 1st and goal.
Turner got it and also had a slight face mask. It wasn't called, so it didn't happen. So 1st down and goal from the 9, high snap.
They snap directs.
McGovern, that was number 2, Jakar Jackson, took the direct snap, got down to the 5.
Yeah, periodically they've got 3 backs that can run the ball very well, and periodically they'll put Jackson in that quarterback position, and McGovern, their starting quarterback, comes out. That's what they did there, direct snap to Jackson for about a 4-yard gain.
So 2nd and goal from the 5. 3-back look in the backfield. Handoff, number 5, Kyle Brunson, and he's in for the touchdown. That was the old student body left.
Yeah, it was, and I've said it once already. I'm going to say it again right now. The lead block of number 3 is what sprung that. David Reese is what sprung that touchdown for the Falcons. Brunson had 3 touchdowns last week on the ground versus Seaholm, and they won 44-35.
Number 19, Bailey King, on for the extra point. Ball's down, kick is up, and the kick is good. 4:40 left here in the 1st quarter. Farmington takes a 7-0 lead. Go mobile with ONTV anytime. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube on your mobile devices. Connect with ONTV to see what's happening in our new studio, see upcoming events, and watch ONTV programs in high definition on demand. ONTV, working hard to bring Lake Orion to the world. And we will also mention that this game tonight, as all of our broadcasts have been tonight, comes to you in glistening high definition. Now, Farmington made it look easy.
Yeah, they did. It was really the one big play, the completion from McGovern to Turner that sprung them. But it all started with special teams and bringing the ball out to the 50-yard line. We talk all the time about not being able to give an offense a short field, and that's what happened in this case.
Juwan Broner and Chris Wilson back deep for the Dragons. Kick is underway, low end over end, taken by Chris Wilson on the 10, 15, over the 30, over the 35, and up near the 40, where he's forced out of bounds. He showed good running instincts. He got up near 35, met a tackler head on, just put a shoulder into him, got another about an extra 5 yards on the return.
I tell you what, Wilson, he's a junior this year, and he's probably taking that role next year from Keith Fields, obviously, as Keith graduates. So, actually, I'm sorry, what am I saying?
Yeah, Keith's a junior.
My fault.
Yeah. It's our final game. Pre-scoring in the gun. Danny White comes in motion. Handoff to Fields up the middle. He's over the 40 to about the 41. They're going to call him down. It'll bring up a 2nd and 7.
Fields just carrying the ball behind Nick Novak, the left tackle, pulling from his position. And
number 52, Victor Dedvujak, I hope I'm doing that right, has been all over the field early in the game. Keith Fields got running room, cuts it outside. He may go 10, 5. What's the call? Touchdown, Lake Orion Dragons.
Well,
59 yards.
What'd you say about Farmington? Their drive was quick. How about that drive for the Dragons? My goodness. I'm glad he's back next year. I was already shooing him out the door. My fault, Keith.
44's looking better.
I was going to say, he must have heard me. And he said, I'm coming back next year, and he proved me wrong, right? All right. Well done.
Bevilacqua on for the extra point. Lightning in a bottle.
The ability to see the downfield blocking too was really what sprung that.
Ball's down, kick is up, kick is good. 3:53 left here in the first quarter. 10-7, the Dragons lead.
You know, once Fields got into the open field, Danny White and others did a nice job of allowing Fields to use his vision to cut back and find the opening. And there was a gaping opening back there. Dragons up 10-7.
And it looked like number 9, Josh Turner, had an angle on him. And he's found that little extra step and just ran away from him.
You know, Keith came into tonight's game almost 1,200 yards rushing, 7.3 average, 5 touchdowns. He just added a 6th one on the season tonight. So an exciting first quarter here at Dragon Stadium.
It is.
I mean, it's frustrating.
It's just been back and forth football.
Absolutely. As frustrating as I know last week's game was for Orion, you know, you can obviously see that at 3 and 5 they've come to play. They've come to play, and they're acting like this is a playoff game for them.
That's right. Bevilacqua. Onside kick. Dragons recover.
It didn't even look like the Falcons were expecting that.
No, they were back. The ball went.
He was clearly lined up to do just that. Bevilacqua.
See if we'll get a replay on it.
And
okay, we won't get a replay. Trust us, it was great.
Beautiful kick, beautiful recovery, and I think the Falcons were obviously taken aback, and Lake Orion starts great field position.
Ball's on the Farmington 45. Keith Fields up the middle, goes for 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Fields is stopped by Harrah. 2-yard gain to the 43.
It'll bring up 2nd and 8 for the Dragons.
One of the defensive linemen, the defensive tackles for Farmington, number 4, Kavinda Harath. He's only 5'7", 161, really quick off the ball, but Lake Orion has found a way to run at that smaller defensive tackle, and they've had some success.
Keith Fields on the counter. Up near the 40, late flag comes in. Thrown by the referee, Bob Chakowski, and it's going to be a hold against the Dragons.
That's one thing that's Lake Orion struggled with all season long. Are those penalties coming into the night, averaging over seven penalties a game. So it's been one of their Achilles heels, if you will. And in a situation like that, when you've got the football on your opponent's side of the field and that penalty, that hold brings it back, it makes things difficult. Second and long, third and anything long is not a fun down to call plays on.
Because it was a spot foul, it actually backed them up about 13 yards from the where the line of scrimmage would have been. Keith Fields again, and this time he's jumped on by number 59, Phil Norris, senior co-captain.
Yeah, they run the draw, and I think Fields saw number 5, Kyle Brunson, to the outside here and cuts back inside, but there was a host of Falcons there waiting for him.
So 3rd down and 22 for the Dragons. Double wides to the left, single wide to the right. Fields alone back in the backfield. Now motion left. Prescorn throws and dropped.
Beautiful pass by Prescorn. Nice protection up front by the Dragon offensive line. You couldn't put a better thrown ball out there. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Kreutzer had it toward his hands. It wasn't the prettiest ball in the world. It was a wobbly ball, but still hits you in the hands. You got to catch
practice those things. You do a drill called bad ball drill. You got to try to catch those. You practice catching balls one-handed. You practice catching balls end over end, however you can do so.
Taylor McCarty in punt formation. He gets off an end over end punt, and it takes a 1-yard Farmington bounce, is down the 28-yard line, where Farmington will take over 1st and 10. I can find my read sheets. Video classes are now enrolling. Reserve your seat today. Learn the basics of studio and field production with ONTV's staff of video professionals. We offer hands-on instruction in a fun atmosphere. Orion residents pay only $10, and I'll finish after this play. Handoff up the middle. Number 5, Kyle Brunson, and he spun down after maybe a 2-yard gain.
Base Smart there. The nice job on Brunson to bring him down.
To finish our read, call ONTV to find out more at 248-693-3377 or 248-393-1060, or visit our webpage at OnTV.org. 2nd down and 8 for the Falcons. Ball's on the 30, I formation in the backfield. Goes to the fullback, number 3, David Reese. He breaks a tackle and gets up to the 38-yard line. That's enough for a 1st down. Number 15, Jake Negri, just got a hold of a foot and was able to drag him down. J. Drew McGovern runs over to the sideline after every play to get the next play. Trips to the left this time, single back in the backfield. McGovern's in the gun. High snap, pulls it down, throws complete. Number 7, Andre Sarfo, and he's out of bounds over midfield down to the Dragon 49, they'll call it, 48 and a half.
Just a little swing route out of that trips formation. They threw to the inside receiver and try to get your athletes in open space, and that's what they did there, right there, and they get the ball on the Dragon side of the field.
So 1st and 10, 58.4 seconds left here in the 1st quarter. It's been an entertaining quarter of football. 2 wideouts, I formation in the backfield. Number 5, Kyle Brunson again on the carry, gets about 7. They're going to give him 8. It'll be 2nd and 2.
2nd and 2, and Yeah, I'll say it again, but it was set up by the block right here, number 3, David Reese on Ryan Culp. All right, knocks Culp down at about the 45-yard line and goes to try to find someone else, and Brunson keeps churning down to about the 40-yard line. So you can see the success they're having with this tandem.
Quick hitter up the middle. Number 3, David Reese on the carry. He's got enough for a first down at the Dragon 30.
Yeah, I don't care who you are. I mean, that was one of the first key to the game, is try to corral those 3, contain those 3, and my goodness, they run hard. They're physical backs. They're going to all go Division I football. Whether they play in the backfield is another story, but bottom line, when you've got 3 guys on one team in that backfield, that's pretty tough to stop and contain.
That'll be the end of the first quarter, a very entertaining first quarter. The Dragons lead 7-0, or I'm sorry, 10-7. We'll be right back.
If you keep tanning, indoors or out, the effects of harmful rays will show up on your skin. Wrinkles, age spots, and an increased risk of melanoma, the second most common cancer in women 15 to 29. Stop tanning. Time may not be on your side. Learn how to protect your skin at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Just at the start of the second quarter, Dragons lead 10-7 over the Farmington Falcons. We will remind you again about sports replays. Be sure to turn into our replays of your favorite games right here on ONTV. Tune in Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 7 p.m., Saturdays at 1 p.m. for the most current games in our lineup. Games are also replayed throughout the week, so check out our program guide on our webpage at ONTV.org for replay times that best fit your viewing schedule. Also, visit our YouTube link for games on demand, www.ONTV.org. First and 10 for Farmington. They have not marked the ball ready for play yet. There we go.
It's first and 10, Farmington at the 30.
I formation in the backfield, 2 wideouts. Number 5, Kyle Brunson on the carry. He gets tripped up after a 2-yard gain. It'll bring up 2nd and 8.
Gain of 2 yards, 2nd down and 8.
Number 72, Nick Novak, in on the tackle. Yeah, you look at David Reese, and he just looks like a fullback. Got the big shoulders, the big legs. Brunson again, spin move outside, close to the first down, looks to be about a yard short.
Boy, they had a chance to, Dragons had a chance to corral, contain Brunson in the backfield. 1, 2, 3, and he spins to his left, and Brunson get outside and continues to follow Reese upfield. And boy,
Scout Ciora had him in his grasp, and he just spun away from it.
Those are just opportunities you can't afford to let out of your grasp.
Scoreboard's got it at 3rd and 2. Up back, David Reese. He's got the first down over the 20-yard line.
Well, Lake Orion's doing a nice job of tackling these guys low too. As physical and as ram battering, if you will, they are. They're doing a nice job of tackling low. And unfortunately for the Dragons that time, we tackled them low, but yet he falls forward, he gets the first down. But bottom line, they're not I've seen Reese and Brunson in film watching film all week just run over guys, and it's because those guys were trying to tackle high. Lake Orion's doing a nice job of staying low.
1st and 10, backs in the eye. Second back through. Brunson down to the 10. He's going to be short of the first down. And Chris, we saw this 2 weeks ago in the West Bloomfield game where their second level tried to tackle Keith Fields high, and he ran right over him. We had one of their defensive players was on his back a half a dozen times trying to tackle him high.
Can't do that against these guys. There's no question about that.
So brings up a 2nd and 1. Ball's marked on the 10. First back through Reese. He's got the first down. And there's nothing fancy with these guys. They hand the ball off and come right up the middle. First down, it'll be 1st and goal from the 6.
Yeah, you saw it looked like extra tight splits by that offensive line there on that 2nd and short, but you know, as you saw from their first quarter touchdown play, they've got the speed to get to the perimeter as well. So not only are they physical, but they can pound it up inside or get to the perimeter, excuse me, as well.
1st and goal. Backs, full house backfield. Reese gets the ball and he gets knocked backwards. Kyle Brunson took the handoff and got knocked a yard backwards.
Boy, a host of Dragons there. Negri was a part of the tackle. I mean, you name it. A host of Dragons there, and that's what you got to do. And we talked about at the beginning, corralling these ball carriers.
Ryan Culp was the one that came in and met him straight on and knocked him backwards. So 2nd and goal from the 10.
Fumble.
Falls on the ground. McGovern falls on it.
Roger White almost picked that ball up. That would have been a huge turn of events there for the Dragons.
So that brings up a 3rd down and goal from the 10. So far, a good defensive stand by the Dragons.
You've seen the one pass that they've thrown, the big ball, the big deep ball in the first quarter. But other than that, Falcons have kept it on the ground.
Kept it on the ground. Sarfo goes out in a slot left. I formation in the backfield with McGovern in the gun. High snap. Handoff to Sarfo. He's coming around the right side. And I haven't seen the official. They're not going to mark him in. He's going to be down on the 1. It'll be 4th down and 1. High snap. Drew Casey from his safety slot went low and knocked him out of bounds on about the 2. They've got him marked down. It'll be 4th down and 1 from the 1. 7:26 left in the second quarter. Full house backfield for the Falcons, and Farmington's going to take a timeout.
There is a whistle on the field. Farmington calls out. DVD copies of this and any other Dragons sporting event.
If you're a fan of sports talk and just plain zaniness, then tune in to Between Terraminas, a different kind of sports talk show. New episodes air live Mondays at 6 p.m. right here on public access Comcast Channel 10, AT&T Uverse Channel 99. Also, check the ONTV program guide at OnTV.org for other air times that best fit your viewing schedule.
This is exactly where last weekend, when Lake Orion played at Clarkston, This is where Lake Orion was. Offensively, 4th and 1 early in the first quarter, and they couldn't get the stop, and Clarkson ends up coming down and scoring later on. But you know, this is a huge play. Obviously, for both teams, you get that stop, Lake Orion, and you get that huge momentum boost.
Falcons come out, full house backfield, almost a wishbone look. McGovern under center, runs into his own blocker, and he's stopped.
Wow.
What a stand by the Dragon defense.
Huge play. McGovern comes out from under center, and you're right, stumbles into, I couldn't tell if it was Reese or Brunson, but as you'll see here, turns out from under center, and Bay Smart
took him and pulled him back.
And that's a situation where, I'm telling you what, right now, yeah, Lake Orion's up 10-7, but you'd be hard-pressed to tell me that Lake Orion's not playing for a playoff spot, the way they're playing on both sides of the football.
Dragons are playing inspired football. They're going to get the ball 1st and 10 from their own 2.
That's a huge stop, huge stop. You see the excitement on the Lake Orion sideline when that happened?
Well
got
deserved.
Green and white jumping up and down, high-fiving, chest bumping. That's what high school football is all about.
And Coach Bell's going to take a timeout. There was a little indecision from the on the Dragon offense, who was going to be in, who was going to be out. So Dragons will take a timeout. 7:21 left here in the second quarter. I know the Dragons were ready to get that ball back and build on the passion of making that stop.
Yeah, that's not the first time though we've seen Lake Orion have to take a timeout based on personnel this year. It's happened quite often, and I know that can be very frustrating for the offensive coaching staff. But you know, especially at this juncture, you want to make sure it's done and done right. You got the right guys out there based on what you've called. So better to use it now than have it really come back and hurt you.
Full house backfield. Bay Smart, Drew Casey in the backfield, and Danny White got the ball and was stopped for no gain. He tried going off the left side, and who jammed it up? Number 59, number 2, and then David Reese made the tackle. Phil Norris bottled up the hole, and then David Reese came inside and pulled him down. Full house look again for the Dragons. Again, bottled up, Danny White. Number 21, Dalen Baldwin, in on the stop.
It's one of those situations here where you certainly obviously want to get that ball out from where you're at. Lake Orion, coming into tonight, has had 3 punts blocked. You know, last week they had a punt blocked against Clarkston, scooped and scored for a touchdown from about 17 yards out. So this is really important. At least if you can't get the first down, get some movement outside of where you're at right now.
And Lake Orion's going to take another timeout and talk this over. And that's one of the things that I talked a little bit with Taylor McCarty about this morning, is just a situation like this, or this evening, when you're backed up in your own end zone, to get the ball off quickly. Don't take any wasted steps, because you just don't have the time. And you can tell that Farmington has done some scouting. Usually a team will get 3 games worth of film from an opponent, and they've seen the full house backfield looked at the Dragons will put on, and they have done a very good job of plugging up the holes off tackle. So 3rd down and 10 from the 2, 6:03 left here in the first half. Prescorn runs into his own man, looks, throws deep, and incomplete. Intended for Drew Casey. Prescorn ran into his own man while he was starting to roll out. Let's see who it was.
Yep, Base Smart.
Ran into Base Smart. And by the time he was getting back, he had a defender right in his face.
McCarty's averaged 35, just over 35 yards per punt this season.
McCarty at the back of the end zone. Short kick, but it gets them out. It gets them out of their own end zone. It'll be out on the Dragon 30. What are they calling it? 34-yard line. Yeah, the Dragon 34-yard line. Farmington will take over 1st and 10. And all that is just the education of a punter, knowing and then practicing what to do in those situations. And Taylor will get better at it. He's learned, he's come a long way this season.
You could have, if you listen to any sports radio this week, you could have heard about the education of a punter all week long, based on some game that happened last weekend in college.
I seem to
football.
remember a little bit like that. So 1st and 10 from the Dragon 35. Handoff, Brunson, and he's dropped into backfield. Number 19, Ryan Culp in on the stop. Number 9, Alec Mell in on the stop. Number 10, Base Smart in on the stop.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12.
And you can see Base Smart. You can see Drew Casey, seniors playing in their last game. And they're playing their hearts out tonight.
Absolutely.
So 2nd down and 12, a trips formation to the left for Farmington. High snap, McGovern looks, he's gonna run it, and he's brought down on the 30. Gain of about 7. It'll bring up a 3rd and 5. What's the old saying that coverage gets sacks? And
Coverage sack. That was a coverage sack there. Yeah, you're right.
And pass pressure gets interceptions. So 3rd down, the scoreboard calls it 6.
Yeah, you mentioned McGovern going to the sideline after every play. You would think with the advent of all this signaling and the big boards on the sideline that you wouldn't want your quarterback running that much to get to play.
I formation in the backfield, 2 receivers to the left. McGovern rolling, throws, stop. Number 2, Jakar Jackson caught the pass and was hit immediately. I believe it was Ryan Cole.
Gain of 1 to the 30, where it's 4th down and 5.
And
nice
I think
play
they
action
called
fade.
it Nick Rose, number 30. Nope. Number 9, Alec Mell.
Nice play action fake, but boy, Mel did a nice job of coming from his cornerback spot.
4th down and 5, and Farmington's going to go for it. We have a stoppage in play, and
there is a whistle before the snap.
Timeout for Lake Orion. That's their 3rd of the first half. The wind, contrary to what we've had our last 2 home games, is coming out of the south tonight. And so Farmington is actually going into the wind. When I was down on the field in pregame, the wind was coming south to north on the field, but the banners at the top of the stands were blowing in an east to west direction. Let's take a look at the OAA Red standings while we have a quick second here. West Bloomfield, 8-0 overall, 7-0 in the division. They're playing Farmington Hills Harrison, who is 7-1. Clarkston is 6-2, 6-1. Troy Athens 5-3, 5-2 in the division, and we'll finish after this play. 4th down and 5. McGovern back to pass, looks, throws off his back foot, intercepted Lake Orion. Dragons ball, and a flag on the play. Let's see what we've got. Holding, Farmington.
Pacey with the INT, there is a penalty.
Now that's one of those things in watching film on McGovern this week, is that they'd like to go up top, but more times than not, when they try to throw deep, McGovern's throwing off his back foot and wanting his guys just to go up and get it. He's just kind of throwing it up in the air. And that's exactly what you saw right there by McGovern.
The penalty is holding.
Holding against Farmington. Penalties declined. So it'll be Lake Orion first down on the 2. Look,
Decent.
right off his back foot.
Yeah, that's one of those situations there where Casey intercepts the ball, and you know, if he can go, I know you're fighting for the ball and you want that ball, but when it's all said and done, if you can go and knock it down.
Knock it down.
You know, but nonetheless, Lake Orion, 2 consecutive series stopped the Falcons on 4th down, and when it's all said and done, boy, talk about a lift for a football team. To tell you what, this is a good offense, this Farmington Falcons team, and Lake Orion's playing very well this first half.
Dragons 1st and 10. Single back in the backfield. Keith Fields on the carry, gets a little breathing room out to the 6. It'll bring up 2nd down. Approaching the 3-minute mark here in the 2nd quarter. Dragons up by 3, 10-7.
It's hard to believe this is week 9 of the regular season already, but gosh, you know, a good crowd here tonight. And
Prescorn up the middle to Keith Fields. He's up close. He's going to be about a yard or 2 short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and a long one.
Look at the Jeff McCarthy and David Reese going at it right there on that particular play. But you know, it's a tribute to the Lake Orion community that there's all these people out here tonight and cheering the team on. It's a little cool out there, but you know what? That's why Friday night football is so special in the state of Michigan, around this country. It brings communities together. And
Danny White on the sweep. He's got a first down and a lot more. He's out near the 30.
Nice little spin inside by White to get some extra yardage there.
They're going to mark him down at the 31-yard line. First down for the Dragons.
We talked a couple weeks ago about Danny White being that short yardage back down near the goal line. That's one of Danny's biggest runs of the season, if not the biggest run. He only came in tonight averaging just under 2 yards a carry, but had 4 touchdowns for the Dragons.
And Tyler Barkley made a tremendous seal block to spring him around the edge. Prescorn looking, throwing, over the head of Keith Fields, over the head of everybody, covered by number 7, Andre Sarfo.
He was covered by Sarfo.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
It's one of those situations where nice time, nice protection, and threw deep to Fields, but there was a crossing route at about the 45-yard line that if Prescorn looks at tape tomorrow, looks at film tomorrow, he might say, you know what, I should have maybe gone to the crossing route.
Twins left, single wide receiver right. Keith Fields alone back in the backfield. Keith Fields gets a carry and he's swallowed. Number 72, Andrew McLeod. And I'm trying to see who else. I think it was number 17, Carl Bradford, in on the stop for Farmington.
Interesting that they, Falcons, I guess they have 2 timeouts left. Interesting they haven't used a timeout to get the ball back, but maybe they think that with Lake Orion not having any timeouts, they're going to let one more play go.
Dragons will get the ball to start the second half. 3rd down and 12. Danny White comes in motion. Prieskorn rolling left, looks, throws left. Just led number 12, Brody Kutzer, a little too far. So Dragons will punt with 1:14 left. McCarty will punt with the wind at his back. Number 9, Josh Turner, and number 7, Andre Sarfo, back for Farmington on their own 40-yard line. Good snap. Good kick. Good kick. Takes a Dragon bounce. Down 2. In for a touchback. A 70-yard punt for Taylor McCarty. That'll help your statistics.
I was just say, how's that for flipping the field, huh? and as you alluded to it once again, how important special teams is. That proved right there. You know, now you're forcing the Falcons to drive 80 yards in just over a minute. So well done by special teams unit that time.
So Farmington takes over, 1st and 10 from their own 20 with 1:02 left. Farmington has 2 timeouts left, as Chris alluded to. Lake Orion has used their 3. They're showing Lake Orion with 1 timeout left, but I think, oh, that's the down box I was looking at. High snap, handoff to Sarfo, coming around the left side, and he's dropped for a loss.
Nice flow by Simjanowski for a 1-yard loss. Gosh, I don't want to say that. I say it. I said it. I'm going to say it again. Nice job of getting off, shedding that block. Simjanowski making a
the second
negative
wave. The linebackers in the back are pursuing really well.
I'm really surprised with 2 timeouts left that Farmington's just willing to go into halftime down 3.
2nd down and 11. This may be the last play of the half. Handoff up the middle to number 3, David Reese. He brings it out to the 37-yard line. Good carry. And now Farmington calls timeout with 8.7 seconds left. I don't understand their clock management.
I don't know. Great games going on all around the state tonight. To you know what Selection Sunday starts Sunday night at 6 o'clock or so, and you know, just this is another great game here tonight here at Dragon Stadium. Yeah, you bust a big play for 17+ yards. You're close to midfield, and they lost a lot of time early in under a minute left by not using their timeout. So you're playing for a playoff spot, and don't you do anything you can?
Yes, you have to score points.
Absolutely, I don't care how you do it.
It's the old thing: to win, you have to score more points than your opponent. And personally, I think they've squandered a chance to score here late in the second quarter. So this should be the last play. 2 wide receivers to the right, I formation in the backfield. Handoff to Sarfo around the left side. They may put they show 9/10 of a second left.
They're going to put one back on at least, yeah.
They'll probably put another second back on the clock.
Yeah, the back judge was running in from his spot right away and putting up one finger.
Yeah, the line judge over here has signaled one second. Now he's calling it to Coach Blackstock, who calls it upstairs, and we have 1 second left. I'm quite sure this will be the last play of the first half. I formation in the backfield, 2 wide receivers, handoff up the middle to Reese. He's inside the 40, inside the 30. Good hard running, but the first half is over. 10-7, Dragons lead. We're at halftime. You're watching exclusive coverage of Lake Orion Dragon football here on Orion Neighborhood Television.
Halftime is underwritten by Malash's Palace Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 3800 South Lapeer Road in Lake Orion. Malash's Palace has been servicing Lake Orion automotive needs since the 1960s. Our third quarter of action is brought to you by Classic Lanes, your home for family fun and entertainment in Rochester Hills. Their 32-lane facility offers state-of-the-art bowling equipment for both league and recreational bowlers. Check them out at myclassiclanes.com.
It's halftime. The Lake Orion Marching Band just finishing their halftime performance. The Dragons up 10-7 over the Farmington Falcons in what has really been a good half of football. Chris, you've got the stats.
Yeah, it's certainly a close score on the scoreboard. It's close really in the stats too. 175 yards of total offense for Farmington to Lake Orion's 149. Really roughly the same number of plays, 26 for Farmington, 27 for Lake Orion. Lake Orion 143 yards on the ground, Farmington 127. So pretty balanced when it's all said and done. Individually for both teams, for Lake Orion, Caden Priest scored 1 of 8 for just 6 yards in the air. For Farmington, J. Drew McGovern 3 of 4 for 48 yards and an interception. Keith Fields leads the Dragons with 12 carries for 97 yards, 8.1 average. That puts him well over 1,200 yards on the season. David Reese had a couple big runs in that last drive. It kind of really, I don't want to say garbage yards, but you know, he leads them, the Falcons that is, with 72 yards on the ground going into halftime. So, like I said, pretty even in the stats. Obviously pretty close on the scoreboard. But it's been an entertaining, it's been a fun game to watch. Lake Orion's come out and, boy, defensively twice they stopped and got turnovers on downs. And that's really, I think, been the difference in this game. The first time they stopped the Falcons inside their own, the Lake Orion 1 yard line, and been pretty impressive defensively. Other than that very first drive, really the only big play that the Falcons have was the 40-some-odd yard pass downfield to inside the 10-yard line in that first quarter. So tribute to the Dragons defense so far tonight.
And, you know, you mentioned Caden being 1 out of 8, but, you know, let's also, he's had a lot of pressure on him as he's been trying to get ready to throw. A couple times he had somebody right in his face when he was letting the ball go.
He had a drop earlier too, so I mean, you know, it's situations like that where you know, we've talked all year about Caden as a sophomore managing the game, and he's doing just that. He's not making mistakes, and the Dragons are, as a result, are up 10-7.
I was talking during pregame with Tyler Mishak, the fine safety from the 2010 championship team, and he was saying, I mean, even Tyler saw it, and he says when he grows into his body, because he still is not there. He's 6'5", and that's a lot of body to grow into, and we saw it with some of his earlier runs. I think he's a better runner now than he was early in the season.
No question, and like I said, I think earlier this game, that's part of his development. And you know, a couple games back, we were able to see him run some read option. Now that's not a strong part of the Lake Orion offense necessarily, but if you're able to add some of that mobility and that flexibility out of your quarterback position as he grows into being a junior, as he grows into being a senior, and that adds a whole nother dimension to an offense that really makes it difficult for high school defenses to defend. So you know, obviously it remains to be seen, but bottom line tonight, hasn't made any mistakes, even though he's 1 of 8, hasn't made big mistakes that have hampered the Dragons' drives.
And as we said in the pregame, the Dragons are without Jack McClare, they're without Mike Jarvis, they're without Jalen Wiggins. So those are, if you want to call them, key components that have been of the Dragons' offense and defense all season long that are out here in street clothes tonight, and the Dragons have fought Farmington, you know, every step of the way. So before we start the second half, we will remind you again, as soon as I find this read sheet, that replays will be brought to you by Jets Pizza. Jets Pizza with 2 convenient locations in the Orion area. Proud supporters of ONTV since 2009. We have a whole new way of doing things up here in the booth tonight. Our producer-director, Ian Locke, is down in the production van, and last time he was not up in the booth with us, he was in the back seat of the family minivan trying to direct, so I think he's a little more comfortable tonight. Just a little,
yeah,
he
says. He's more comfortable because he's warmer.
He's he's not warmer. This is week 9. It's the end of October, and earlier we did get a good look at the fall colors And again, you realize just what a beautiful setting that Lake Orion is at. We'll finish the OAA red standings. So last week, where we left off, Troy Athens at 5-3, 5-2 in the division. Lake Orion 3-5, 3-4 in the division, tied with Oxford 3-5, 3-4, and with Stony Creek 3-5, 3-4. Bloomfield Hills is 1-7, 1-6 in the division, and Troy is 0-8, 0-7 in the division. Farmington will get the ball to start the second half. Number 7, Andre Sarfo, is back deep, along with number 9, Josh Turner. Luke Bevilacqua has the ball teed up on the 40. And we're underway in the second half. High short kick. Sarfo takes it on the 15, up over the 20, 25. He's got some room. And pushed out of bounds by Bevilacqua at the, where are they calling him? They're calling him out at the 48-yard line. Chris, well, he got around the corner, and you know, it's always kind of a, you know, we have a flag on the field. It's against Farmington, and it looks like it's a spot foul, so this will come back.
Just about to say, Sarfo brought the ball to almost the 50-yard line that time. That's what triggered the Falcons' first touchdown, or the only touchdown in the first quarter. Sarfo brought it out to midfield, and 4 plays later, the Falcons scored. But again, good, decent field position it was until the hold by the Falcons bring it back to about the 22-yard line.
Hold on the return, and it's getting that on any level, high school, college, pro. On kick returns, you either see a block in the back or a hold. It's happening much too often. So 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Handoff to Brunson, trying to get around the right side, and he stopped for maybe a yard gain.
I tell you what I'm seeing tonight about this Lake Orion defense is I don't care whose name you're calling. It's not just one player. It's multiple guys in and around whoever's carrying the football. And that's what Lake Orion has prided itself on over the past X number of years, is that swarming, attacking defense. And we're seeing that tonight.
11 hats to the ball. So 2nd down and 8 from the 24. Single back in the backfield this time, 4 wides, motion, and a handoff that goes nowhere.
Okay, and I say that time we got
Nick
3
Novak.
guys. We got 3 guys to the football, 4 guys. Well, guess what? You only need 1 right there. Nick Novak, great job of penetrating, disrupt. Oh, just yeah. The backside guard pulled, and Nick followed that gap track down inside and across the face of that right tackle and got in and made the nice play.
So 3rd down and 12. The ball's marked on the 20. 2 wides, backs stay in the twin backs in the backfield with McGovern in the gun. High snap, handoff to Reese, and he's stopped for no gain. Maybe a yard. It'll be 4th and 12, and the Dragon defense does it again.
Yeah, that's one thing that in what Brunson tripped right there. He was the lead blocker on that play, and he tripped over his own offensive lineman, and as a result, the Dragons come in and make a play. But what I was about to say is Farmington doesn't have that quick striker, that throw it up in the air and go get it offense, and so they're playing right into the Dragons' hands as far as the tempo and the flow of this football game.
Bailey King's the punter, and we have a procedure penalty against Farmington that'll back them up 5 more. Dragons had 10 men on the line. So we'll make it a 4th and 17 from the 15-yard line. This drive started on the 30, and it's just kind of gone backwards from there. So Kings set up at the 5. Dragons show 10. Here they come. Almost get it. It may have been partially blocked. It's a straight up. Drew Casey tipped it, grabbed it, and is brought down at the 30. The ball may have been tipped. It went straight up. Oh, and we have a late flag coming in. Drew was one of the upbacks. He got back quickly to cover and then came up and tipped the ball and caught it himself. We'll see what the penalty is. It's a dead ball, personal foul against Farmington. As Coach Bell said so often, this is huge.
Well, this is huge too, because Drew says to go ahead and get away from it, and then takes a chance, gutsy chance in trying to tap the ball to him, and certainly he prevented that ball from bouncing, who knows, 5-10 yards past him, but boy, he was lucky in that ball. He did tap it back to them, and now I think, you know, a personal foul, you start to see some frustration on the Falcons side of the field.
First down and 10 for the Dragons from the 15-yard line. Prescorn, hand to Keith Fields, up the middle, cuts in, touchdown Lake Orion Dragons. Just like that.
Boy, he's fun to watch. He hits that hole hard, and just that burst, that explosion through the line. And there's no safety, no linebacker that's going to catch him. Number 3 and number 44, it doesn't matter. It's still Keith Fields, touchdown.
Bevilacqua on for the extra point. Ciora holding. Ball's down, kick is up, kick is good. 9:08 left here in the third. Dragons increase their lead to 17-7. And Chris, I was thinking about this while watching the Bloomfield Hills game last night, and we talked about riding the horse, riding the hot hand, and I thought back to the championship year of 2010 when you had Marcus Stevenson, and it got to the point, especially during the semifinal and especially the final game, the Dragons hardly threw. They threw 3 passes in the championship game, and this was in the time where we were all talking about Air Bell. And it is, when you have that hot back, that back that can get you yardage in chunks, you keep riding him.
Well, he's done it all year. I mean, this was his 7th touchdown on the season. He's nearing 1,300 yards on the ground. I mean, every time he touches a ball, he's averaging well over 7.5 yards a carry. I mean, and the Dragons' issue this year in that regard is the fact that there hasn't been another one of those guys on that offensive unit to be able to complement what Keith does and what that offensive line does. So that's been the challenge this year. But boy, he's been fun to watch this year. Whether they're winning, whether they're losing, he's been fun to watch. And you know, those guys up front don't get enough recognition to allow Keith Fields to get that close to 1,300 yards. Kreitzer and Novak and Cathers and Benson, McCarthy, all those guys are doing a great job up front.
Bevilacqua on the kickoff, taken on the 10 by Sarfo. He's cutting it upfield to the 20, 30, 40, and brought down by Alec Mell at midfield.
Same exact location.
Just the other side. So Farmington starts out with good field position at midfield. Yeah, we had an issue earlier in the game. I think that umpire Joe Denemy got jostled a little bit. He's not moving real well down there, but he's staying in the game. 1st and 10 for the Falcons. McGovern in the gun, single back in the backfield. Number 5, Brunson gets the carry, gets 9 yards on it. It'll bring up 2nd and short.
Boy, Ryan Culp had an opportunity to tackle Brunson in the backfield, and Brunson's fast and elusive, and he's a big back, and did a nice job of getting close to the first down for the Falcons.
So 2nd and 1. Ball's just inside the 42-yard line on the right hash. Backs in the I formation. Second back through, and we have a flag. Thrown by the head linesman, and I think it'll be a procedure call against Farmington. That'll bring them back 5.
I'm starting to see some of the frustration on the Falcons, not only sideline, but the guys on the field. They're throwing their hands out to the side like, what's going on? They're shaking their heads, and they can sense that there's a lot of momentum on this green and white side, and they can sense that, you know what? We got a quarter and a half left of football, and this could be our season if we don't turn this thing around.
That's right. They either win tonight or turn their equipment in on Monday. They win, they're in. They lose, they're out. So 2nd down and 7 from the Dragon 47-yard line. McGovern rolling, looking, throwing, tipped. Number 17, Roger White, was in position.
Roger White was there defensively.
Tell you what, Shahan Turner was open right away, and boy, yeah, White does a nice job of dropping back into that curl hook zone as McGovern was rolling out to knock that ball down. But Turner was open initially, but White just did a great job.
So this is a big 3rd down for Rochester. 3rd down and 7.
A lot of the shotgun snaps have been high tonight. Crossing route right there.
Looks, throw, crossing route, got it, and he's not going to get the first down.
Look at how many Dragons
3
are
Dragons, base smart.
Look at all those guys in green jerseys around.
Roger White again. So that's going to bring up a 4th and 5 from the 45-yard line. Farmington has shown no fear about going for it on 4th down tonight.
Sarfar from the slot comes across and wide open, and McGovern's looking at him the whole way. Nice time, nice protection, but look at that. 1 missed tackle there, but 1, 2, gets back into White, gets back in there, makes the play along with others. Two turnovers on downs in the first half for Farmington.
Double wide, double slot look for Farmington. 1 back in the backfield. McGovern looking, being chased. He's going down. Roger White again. Brings him down in Farmington territory, and the Dragons take over on downs again.
We talked at the beginning about one of the keys to the game is pressuring McGovern, the quarterback. He holds the ball too long. He likes to go deep, and here he's holding the ball too long. He's got to give his guys an opportunity to go make a play downfield. He holds the ball too long there. The Dragon pass rush got to him. Lake Orion takes over on the Farmington side of the football.
They're calling it 1st and 10 from the Farmington 49. Trips to the left.
This is one of those times you go up top.
Keith Fields.
What do I know?
Up the middle. For about 4, it'll bring up 2nd down and 6. They're going to give him 3, and they'll make it 2nd and 7.
That change of momentum, that's the 3rd time tonight the Dragons defense has come up big, forced a turnover on downs. I must say it again. Who's the team playing for the playoffs?
Yeah, there you go.
The green and white is playing tonight.
2 wides to the left. Fields lone back. He gets a handoff. He gets jammed up and wiggles out for maybe a yard. I don't think they're going to give him a yard. It'll be 3rd and 6 for the Dragons.
Yeah, Fields kind of, he bumps into his own guy. He bumps into Thompson, who was pulling from his right tackle spot. Kind of slowed things up a little bit.
Juwan Broner checks in for the Dragons. Trips to the left. Prescorn looks, throws, got the tight end, Tyler Barkley, for a first down. And you're right, Chris, we have not seen the tight end be an integral part of this offense this year.
Yeah, no, it's a nice play. They threw away from the trips receiver, and look at the time Prescorn's got to throw. Just step nice and poised, nice and comfortable in the pocket, step up and throw a nice strike to Barkley, his 6th catch of the year.
So 1st and 10 for the Dragons on the 33-yard line. Inside handoff, Fields, he breaks it. Outside, gets maybe 6.
Fields stopped by number 2, Jackson, at the 29.
And you look at this team, and again we go back to the injuries, and it's part of the game. But you hate to see someone like Jalen Wiggins be out for his last game. Fields, he gets brought down immediately. Number 59, Phil Norris, on the tackle. Again, he just pursued. He kind of shadowed Keith all the way and brought him down for maybe a yard gain. They're calling it 3rd and 4. 4:15 left here in the 3rd.
Gonna call a timeout.
2 wideouts. Yep, Dragons will call time with 4:01 left.
Yeah, Caden was looking over here to the sideline and a little confused. I don't know if there was confused on personnel, the play call, the formation, what have you, but big play, 3rd down, and call a timeout. Go mobile with ONTV anytime. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube on your mobile devices. Connect with ONTV to see what's happening in our new studio. See upcoming events and watch ONTV programs in high definition on demand. ONTV, working to bring Lake Orion to the world.
I think this is just a personnel issue, who we wanted in for this 3rd down. Same alignment we saw before, 2 wideouts. Keith Fields lone back. Juwan Broner comes out into a slot right. Prescorn got pressure. He's going down. He went to roll to his right and never had a chance. Number 52, Victor Didvukash, and number 5, Kyle Brunson.
Yeah, Brunson from the edge, from the backside, and Didvukash from the right side, the front side, and Prescorn had nowhere to go. Luckily, he held on to the football, and now the Dragons are going to play that field position game. Try to bury the Falcons back deep into their own zone.
McCarty lined up just outside the 50.
Farmington looks a man short.
Went off the side of his foot. That's going to be a terrible punt.
Gee.
Oh, it hit at the 1st down stick and came back for about a net 3-yard kick.
He tried the rugby style punt and to try to down it well inside the certainly the 20, but it never even got to the 30 and bounced back.
Well,
so.
You know what? That's all well and good if your name is Sam Martin or you're kicking on Sundays. On Friday night, you kick for the sidelines. We always said aim for the pylon and come up 5 yards. So Farmington takes over 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line. Reese through the middle. He's swarmed under after maybe a yard gain.
runs into Smart. And
Tell you what,
Brendan Thompson and others.
We've talked a couple times about Brunson carrying the football, number 5, and he rushed for over 300 yards last week. But, you know, granted, I know it was against Birmingham Seaholm, who's been down this year, but boy, oh boy, the ability for Brunson, he's not even close to 100 yards tonight, and that's a tribute to the Lake Orion front 7, really the entire defense, the way they've played tonight.
Up back, that's David Reese. He's close to the 45-yard line. It'll be another 3rd down and 1 for Farmington.
Third down and 1 at the 45.
Reese is the up back. Brunson's a tailback. Twins to the left. Brunson gets the carry and he's got a 1st down.
One of the things I'm surprised that Farmington hasn't done, they haven't thrown them, obviously they haven't thrown the ball a lot, but they haven't, you know, when they throw the ball, they like to get the ball to number 21, Dalen Baldwin. And haven't really gone to him tonight, and I'm just kind of curious as to why, because while Farmington rushed for 140 some odd yards in the first half, haven't resulted into much offensively. So
1st down and 10. Brunson on the carry, gets 5. Bring up 2nd down. And Farmington is content just to run the ball. They don't have any sense of urgency yet to have to get the ball in the air to try to make yards.
Now your season's on the line, and I watched them all week against their 2 weeks ago, their game against Farmington on Hills Harrison. Boy, was that a good game to watch. Fun game to watch.
2nd and 4. Brunson again, he's got a 1st down and more inside the 40 down to the 36-yard line.
Reese.
That was Reese?
That was Reese. And that's a nice open field tackle. Yeah, it's a big run for Reese, but look at how low they're staying on a big back like that. Look at that, wham, right there. And it's a nice job coming from the safety spot with Joseph Slayton. So that's how you got to play these guys. That's how you got to tackle these guys.
Yeah, they had number 2, Jakar Jackson, who's still in at the up back, and Reese is now the tailback.
David Reese.
And he's down inside the 30. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 3 for Farmington.
2nd down and 4.
Probably going to be the last play of the quarter.
And I guess wind at your back, wind at your face doesn't make any difference to them when you're going to run the ball. That will be the last play of the 3rd quarter. We've played 3. Lake Orion and Farmington. Dragons up 10-7. We'll be right back.
Hello, Oakland County. This is Sammy Terramina talking OAA Now. In it, we'll talk various stories ranging from the state to Oakland County teams affecting the OAA. Catch us here on OAA Now.
At the end of the 3rd quarter, I misspoke. Dragons are up 17-7 over Farmington. And Chris, this goes back to this sense of urgency that we're not seeing from Farmington. It's still a 2-score game for the Dragons.
2-score game, and like I said, haven't seen much of that quick strike offense out of Farmington all season long. Yeah, the games that they've won this year, they really haven't. They've only beaten one team in their 5 wins. They've only beaten one team that has a winning record. That's Oak Park at 5-3. So it's not like they've beaten, even though they're 5-3. It's not like they've beaten teams that are on the positive side of the ledger, so to speak. Whether it's it's certainly a combination of Lake Orion playing good, tough, inspired defense. But I'm a little surprised about the way the Farmington offense has played tonight.
2nd and 4. Brunson runs it outside. He's got a first down and more. They're going to mark him down inside the 20.
Maybe
about the 16.
And maybe it's just one of those things where, okay, we're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep grinding, give the ball to our studs and get the ball. And that's what Brunson does. A nice job of staying patient, bouncing it to the outside. A poor angle by Finneran right there, but it allowed Brunson to get a few more yards. But, maybe they just have the confidence in the kids that, we're going to get this done.
So 1st and 10 for the Falcons on the Lake Orion 17. McGovern rolling. He's going to keep it. He's got pressure, and he's going down for a loss on the 20, 3-yard loss.
I think that had to have been a miscue in the backfield, the way Brunson is walking back to what's going to be where their huddle is. It's one of those outside zone plays that I don't think McGovern was able to stick that ball out into the hand. That's why he took it and kept it. That's an awful long way to go to run for a quarterback.
Brendan Thompson came all the way over from his defensive tackle position to run him out of bounds and stay in on the play. So 2nd and 14 for Farmington. Ball's marked on the 21. You have twins right. Backs in the eye. McGovern looking, throwing, complete. Number 7, Andre Sarfo. And he's down inside the 15-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 14. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 7.
Just a little out route to Sarfo in the slot. And a high snap again, and McGovern gets pressured, but the Dragons do a nice job of, again, corralling the ball carrier to get there on Sarfo.
And Roger White has been all over the field. He was spun away from the play, kept his presence of mind, came back and got in on the tackle. So 1st and 10, 3rd down and 7, trips to the left. And they're going to call pass interference on somebody. Number 32, Joe Slayton, was in on it, and the ball was almost right at his head. The officials will talk it over. There's 2 flags down, probably both for interference. Pass interference against the Dragons. So that'll be huge. That'll be a 1st down.
And McGovern's got plenty of time to throw here, and it's clearly hit before.
Looked like Slayton came over the top on him.
Turner was clearly hit before that, and good call. Not if you're a Dragons fan, but good call as an official.
So they're going to mark the ball down on the 7. And it is not going to be a 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and less than 1. And the formal declaration of the penalty was made. Referee Bob Schakowsky making the call. And the Dragon coaches are talking about something to no avail. It's still 3rd and 1. Oh, now they're calling it 1st and goal. McGovern rolling, looking, goes to the back of the end zone. Incomplete. Over the head of
intended for Dicasian.
Trying to see, was that number 84?
Yep, and tight end.
Number 84, Harry Dicasian.
The play action pass to Brunson, and McGovern rolls out. He's open. Just throw the ball thrown a little high and wide. Decent coverage back there by Alec Meehl.
Second and goal. Under 10 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Dragons 17, Farmington 7.
Second down and goal from the 7.
Two wideouts back in the I formation, McGovern under center. Hands the ball to Sarfro, he's in for the, was that 3 or 7?
That's Reese.
Yeah, that's Reese. He ran almost untouched into the end zone for the touchdown.
David Reese with the 7-yard rushing score.
So Bailey King will come in and attempt the extra point. Number 21, Dalen Baldwin, is the holder.
As I mentioned 2 weeks ago, they ended up losing the game to Harrison because of 2 missed extra points. So this is a big one.
High snap, down, up, and good. Dragons had a good rush put on. Just got there an instant too late. So 9:52 left in the fourth quarter. Dragons 17, Farmington Falcons 14. Remind you that DVD copies can be purchased by calling ONTV at 248-693-3377 or 248-393-1060. For only $10, you can get a copy of not only this game, but any game or program in our broadcast vault. That's DVD copies, 248-693-3377 or 248-393-1060.
Yeah, not much. Yeah, you're right. He was untouched. He was untouched all the way to the end zone. So we got a ball game.
And that drive was set up by a bad punt. A net 3-yard punt started the Falcons off in good field position. Juwan Broner and Chris Wilson back deep for the Dragons. King, short kick, taken by one of the up men. Taken by Ryan Culp. He brings it out to the 37-yard line, and the Dragons will take over 1st and 10.
So I know we got plenty of time left here in the fourth quarter, but this is one of those drives offensively that you wanna move the ball, move the chains, move some clock, and do what you've done all night offensively. Manage the game, move the field, move the ball, excuse me, and
I couldn't tell if King just mishit that kick or he was trying for a pooch kick. It had a lot of spin on it. Danny White comes in motion. Handoff. Keith Fields. Over the 40 up to about the 42. It'll be 2nd down. Gain of 5. We have the Farmington coaches next door to us, and even though we have a closed door between us, that we have been hearing them yell all night, tackle him, tackle him, tackle him. And I think there's a lot of other coaches have been saying that all year. Chris Wilson checks in at the running back position. He gets the carry, looks for an opening, keeps his legs moving, has a 1st down, close to midfield. And Nick Novak maintained his block and got a good long look from the line judge.
Nothing fancy there, just running hard, and Wilson just keep churning and driving and gets a Lake Orion 1st down. That's exactly what Lake Orion needs.
1st and 10 from midfield. Twins Double wide, double slot look. Danny White goes in motion, and he's stopped in the backfield.
I think we're going to have procedure on Lake Orion. 5-yard penalty. There was Fields moved as Danny White's moving in motion as well.
Yeah, illegal shift is what they're going to call it. That'll back them up 5. They may decline it because it was quite a loss. Yeah.
Yeah, Brunson came in, got inside Barkley, who was a tight end there, and ended up making the tackle.
Illegal motion, penalties declined, so they take the loss yardage. It brings up 2nd down and 16. The ball spotted on the 44-yard line of Lake Orion. Dragons come out, twins to the left. Single wide out to the right. Prescorn back, got pressure, sets up a screen, has Fields. Still moving, up over midfield, down to the 46-yard line of Farmington.
Boy, they've run that screen fairly well all season long, and when you've got Keith Fields following Josh Benson and Justin Cathers out in front, does a nice job. Fields does of cutting back, still stutter stopping right there, and from there getting about 5 extra yards, just following those big horses up front. Gets him into a manageable 3rd down situation.
Josh Benson did a great job on David Reese. Sprung him for 5 more yards. Fields up the middle. He's jammed up in the middle. Gets maybe 2. It'll bring up another 3rd down for the Dragons. Up, Chris Wilson, 42. Both of them were in that time.
Big play for the Dragons. They're going to go for it on 4th and 3.
Juan Broner checks in.
4th down and 3.
Kusters. Coach Bell signaling in the play.
Going to try to draw him off
Fields
sides.
is a lone back. He gets the carry. He's got a 1st down and more. Inside the 35 down to the 33.
Big time call, big time play. That's a gutsy call in that situation.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't get that 1st down there, and Farmington's got a short field, and Keith does a nice job of not bottling himself up, following his big blocker, and getting off the left edge there for a 1st down for the Dragons.
He just pushed Jeff McCarty out of the way to get 3 more yards. So 1st and 10 for the Dragons, just over 6:30 left in the game. Prescorn in the gun, handoff to Fields, gets probably 2. I think they're going to call it with a 1-yard gain. Up to the 32, it'll be 2nd and 9. And more importantly, the Dragons are eating clock.
Absolutely.
Dragons set up trips to the right. Field lone back in the backfield. Prescorn under center. Motion this side. Keith Fields down to about the 25. Maybe they're going to call it the 26. Keith lost his helmet. He's going to have to come out for a play. Chris Wilson checks in.
Look at the holes that they're opening up. Reese there on the tackle. But look at the holes that that front line is, that offensive line is opening up, and they've done it all year long. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because of how well Fields has run all year long, and
we have a timeout called on the field. I didn't quite see who called it. So in the meantime, have you ever wanted to make your own TV show or operate a camera for a live sporting event? Well, ONTV can make it happen. Your first step, though, is to sign up for orientation. It's free and offers you a behind-the-scenes look at ONTV. Call 248-693-3377, or we're going to get our guest reader in here. I think she's going to be shy. See if I can give her, oh, she hasn't got a microphone and she picked this time to be shy. Or 393-1060 for more information. Third down. Chris Wilson on the run, and he's going to be about a yard short. They're marking him over the 25-yard line.
Why is the clock not going? Now it's going. Now it's going.
So 4th and 1 from the 28. And the full house backfield comes in. Drew Casey, Bay Smart, Danny White, Keith Fields. We got everybody in there. 4th and 1. Danny White.
No.
Ball's on the ground and Farmington recovers. I don't think he made it anyhow.
No. That's one of those situations where Danny's just trying to get something extra, trying to spin away, trying to get that first down. And one of those situations where athlete's just trying to make a play, trying to get that first down for his team, and he tries to spin right here, and well, they stripped it.
Yep.
Number 2, Jakar Jackson stripped it as Danny's got his back to him, and you're right. Whether it was a fumble or not, he wouldn't have gotten the first down. Farmington takes over.
Farmington takes over 1st and 10 on their own 25. Just over 5 minutes left. Number 3, David Reese. Up number 5, Kyle Brunson. Gets a yard.
You know, turnover or not, is it turnover on downs or a turnover, fumble, whatever you want to call it. So that's Lake Orion's first of the night. Ooh, McGovern almost fumbled that ball coming out from under center there.
Bay Smart closed in, as we've talked all night long, wrapped him up around the ankles. McGovern in the gun. Reese is the deep back. Looks.
Screen.
Rolling. Throws. Complete to number 6, Shahan Turner. Number 5? It was number 5. Just the way he was turned, it looked like a 6. Number 5, Kyle Brunson.
Yeah, Brunson kind of sneaks out from his fullback spot into the backfield, into the flat there, and just run a little screen downfield and cuts back behind his big lineman, number 59, Philip Norris, and keeps those feet moving across the 50 into Dragon territory.
50. He still looked like a 6. So 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Twins to the right, I formation in the backfield. Number 3, David Reese. On the carry. He's got a first down, hard running along the left side. That'll be a first down for Farmington. 3:48 left in the game. Farmington on the move. They have 1st and 10 on to Dragon 32.
And when you've got backs like that who are running the ball, you know, that defense as well as they've played tonight, you know, has a tendency to do what? Get a little tired.
Twins to the right. Reese again. Goes for about 4. And it'll be 2nd down. 3:18 and counting.
2nd down and 8.
This is a time where the Dragon defense, you're right, you're tired, Yeah, but you look for that. You know, this is why they went through all the work in the summer. Reese against Trop, caught and dropped. Base smart.
Base smart. Huge play on third down for the Dragons. Blitz from his linebacker spot and did just enough to trip up. Was that Brunson or Reese that time?
That was Reese. Again, he got him low. So third down and 7 from the 29. Just over 2 minutes left in the ball game. Twins to the right, single wide out to the left. Backs in the eye. McGovern back, looking. Pressure dropped. About a half-a-yard loss. Roger White again, along with Nick Novak.
There is a whistle on the field. Farmington calls.
Well,
And
you know.
now did they call timeout before the play? No, they're taking a timeout now. 4th down and about 9.
Pressure McGovern, and they did exactly that. Forced McGovern up into the pocket. The two outside guys did a great job. The two ends did a great job of attacking that quarterback's back shoulder. The two inside defensive tackles provided the pass rush to the quarterback's front shoulder. They corralled McGovern well, puts him down for a loss of 3. This is the biggest 4th down and 9 Farmington's had all season long, right here.
4th and 9 from the 31-yard line of Lake Orion. 2:01 left in the game. Dragons up by 3. You're right, Chris. This is huge. You just cannot say enough about the job that defensive coordinator Brad Fisher's done with this unit tonight.
I saw the Falcons field goal kicker kicking into their net over there. This would be from 48-49 if they went and kicked it. Into that win.
Into the win.
Yes, right.
Into the win. So here we go. 4th down and 9. Brunson is the back in the backfield. Twins to the left. And we have another timeout taken by Farmington.
On the field, Farmington calls.
They're down to 1 left. Why would you call a second timeout? Personnel group? I would think that they would have had enough time to get their personnel straight during the first one.
This has not been Farmington's strong suit, putting the ball in the air. Not necessarily tonight, but all season long. Again, but when they have gone put the ball in the air in the past, they've liked to throw to number 21, Dalen Baldwin. So watch out for number 21, who at that point in time was lined up on the far side of the field.
So 4th and 9, empty backfield now. McGovern looking, trying to set a screen up, and it's knocked down. The Dragons hold. Number 46, Gabe Simonowski, got in front of the receiver, and the receiver actually knocked him down.
Read it the entire way. Read it the entire way, and again, it just tried to run screen to Jackson right there. Tries to sneak out of the backfield. Yeah, Simon out. You're right. All right, Simjanowski did a nice job of just reading it the entire way, and that very well could be the Falcons' season right there.
So the Dragons take over 1st and 10 from their own 31. 1:56 left in the game. Farmington has 1 timeout left. The Dragons have 2. And I think you're going to get a real heavy dose of Keith Fields now. They're going to come out. They're going to take a knee. And
Whoa. Danny White,
well,
Kyle Brunson there.
Caden just got speared after he took his knee. No flag. And Farmington is not taking a timeout. And the Dragons will let the clock run down. Caden will watch the back judge when he starts his 5-second count off. They're back in the huddle. Okay, he's got his 5. He holds it at 4, 3, 2, timeout. 1:02, 1:01 left in the game. It'll be 2nd down and 13 for Lake Orion. Dragons clinging to a 3-point lead. Farmington's not going to go away. So, do you continue to take a knee in this situation? Do you try to get... I thought they'd at least run a couple running plays.
It's one of those things where you can kill a little bit more clock when you do, or especially if you're going to run something on the perimeter. However, you take that risk of that there's a exchange issue, the quarterback running back exchange. You take that risk. You take that risk of if somebody taking the right angle defensively and blowing up the play and forcing a fumble. So there's a lot of factors as we've talked about all week in college football about you never know what can happen. So you're trying to eliminate anything negative that can happen, and you get into this formation and you hope for the best. You hope you can run the clock. Farmington's got the 1 timeout left.
Dragons in the bunch. Caden takes a knee, and they're taking a little liberty with him after he takes his knee. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 18. The clock continues to run. Each team has 1 timeout left.
Very interesting that
Yeah, I'd like to ask Coach Bell about this at the end. About really, it seemed like it was a lot of time to take a knee, and
I was thinking more interesting about why is Farmington not calling it?
Why is Farmington not? The Dragons will take their last timeout with 7 seconds left in the game.
You know, the coaches have all those fancy charts as to what you can do based on how much time is left on the clock and how many timeouts you have, how many timeouts your opponent has. So I'm sure they referenced that chart to tell them that the Dragons could do exactly this. I tell you what a big football game for the Dragons. What a way to end a season.
What a good game tonight.
You know, I don't know if you're one that believes that momentum can be taken from quarter to quarter, game to game, even from a season to a season. But if there's something to fall back on this season, it's the fact that you're 3-5 and out of the playoffs. You got a team who needs to win to get into the playoffs, and you came out and played like the playoff team tonight.
Coach Bell said he wanted to have something to build on for these kids going into next year, and they've certainly done that tonight. Prescorn takes a knee. 3, 2, 1. The game's over. The Dragons close out 2015 with a 17-14 win over the Farmington Falcons. And this could be a clinic in coaching decisions tonight. So we will be talking hopefully with Chris Bell after he talks to the team. We will pick it up again from the field for the postgame. We'll be right back.
My name is Caitlin. I'm 6 years old. I like to go to the beach with my cousins. When I was a baby, I was very sick. And then I got a liver transplant from an organ donor. He saved my life.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
From the field, after really what was a very thrilling 17-14 Dragon victory over the Farmington Falcons. Chris, we talked about coaching decisions. We talked about all kinds of things. What it came down to is a tremendous defensive effort by the Dragons tonight.
Yeah, that's all we talked about tonight. I shouldn't say all we talked about, but that defense by far, in my opinion, played their best game of the night tonight. Yeah, other teams might have scored fewer points, but to be able to stop and contain, as we talked about, one of the keys to the game, contain those three backs that Farmington had, and hold them to 14 points, and then not really make any miscues offensively, and really just it was a nice win for both sides of offense, defense, special teams. Both a great win tonight for the Dragons. In my opinion, the best win of the year.
And really, you look at the way the season unfolded. It was a early season loss to Chippewa Valley, a last-minute loss to Troy Athens. You always talk about the breaks. Sometimes, yes, you make your own breaks, but a couple breaks here and there, and the Dragons are looking at a playoff spot this year. It wasn't as bad of a season as a 4-5 record wants to reflect.
No, it wasn't. Bottom line, coaches will say the record is the record, and that's what it ended up being. And they are going home. They are going to be turning their equipment on Monday, but there's things to build on. You've got a Caden Priestcorn, a sophomore quarterback. You've got a guy like Keith Fields and Chris Wilson in the backfield that can run the football. Now you've got to find other playmakers, on the perimeter, your wide receiver group, your slot receivers, to be able to be able to move this offense forward. One of the things you're going to struggle with is finding those guys up front like Lake Orion had this year. So the ability to find those guys this offseason, to be able to get this offense back on track, because I think you got a good makings of a good sound defense moving forward. And so there's a lot of things to build upon. And as you know, Coach Bell and the coaching staff will do a nice job of building those and building that off-season momentum in the weight room, in the film room, and building and grooming those young guys to be ready for varsity play next year.
And
I think he's right behind us.
There he is.
Absolutely, yes.
Coach, congratulations.
Congratulations. Nice job. Nice job.
We talked during pregame, and you said, yeah, you want to see the seniors go out with a win, but you also wanted to make a statement with the young guys to set things up for next year. I think you did that pretty convincingly tonight.
Yeah, tonight was an important game. Important just for this football team, important for the guys that have invested so much effort. And obviously we're disappointed with the way the season's gone, but to end it, against a good team, playing a fundamentally sound game and playing Lake Orion Dragon football, what a way to go out. It sends the seniors out on a positive note and gives the young guys, that vision of what's possible when we do things the right way. And, we had a lot of young guys made a lot of plays because we're down a lot in injury and, with injuries on the defense, and some young guys stepped in and made some huge plays. So overall, obviously it wasn't a perfect game, but fundamentally we were pretty solid. We did some great things and won the physical battle against a very good team, so I couldn't be happier.
Talk about, we talked all night about your defense and the fact that 3 times you got turnovers on downs tonight, and that was huge for your defense, and obviously it resulted in the score as what it was. But talk about their progression and their growth and what they've done over the course of this season.
Yeah, you guys all know, in order to be a great football team, you got to play great defense, and to get some stops, key times, and Brad did a nice job of bringing some pressure and getting guys moving downhill, and we covered in the secondary, and they ran the ball a little bit on us there, but we also made some big plays in the run game. So just when you get stops like that and they give the ball back to us, and especially sometimes when their backs are against the wall down there, that's a ball game.
It's one of the things, 2 years missing the postseason, it happens. It happens. The program as a whole, varsity, on down? How do you look at the program as a whole going into next year?
Well, we're excited. We got great kids. Our freshmen, I think we're 5-3-1. Our JVs are 7-1-1. We got a great crew coming back. But it all goes into, it goes into, on Monday forward. I mean, we got to do the work in the off season. Obviously, we had some shortcomings this year where we weren't real good in some areas. We have to improve because you have to be able to fire on all cylinders in this league. The league is too darn good, so we have to get better. We'll make some adjustments coaching-wise and some scheme stuff, and our kids are going to get bigger and stronger. And like I said, this was a great piece of momentum moving forward about what's possible. And I know they're excited. You look offensively. The bulk of those yards came from underclassmen. Those guys are all going to be back next year, so we're going to be in good shape. It's a good start. It's not the season we wanted to have, but you talk about great kids. They're great kids that play hard, I think, representing this community. So good days are ahead.
Coach, thanks for your accessibility this season.
Thank you.
And have a great off season, and we look forward to 2016.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Chris. Thank you.
That'll wrap it up from the field after a Lake Orion 17-14 victory. Again, our final score. We want to thank you for watching our coverage of Lake Orion Dragon football this season. The group behind us are our camera people. Tessa Bratton ran them upstairs. Our producer, director, Ian Locke, a Herculean effort this year. Joe Johnson here on the sideline camera. Kevin McCormick, our sideline reporter throughout the season. And this couldn't have been possible without the expertise and knowledge of my broadcast partner, Chris Frisching.
It's been fun, Doug. I appreciate the opportunity, and I can't wait for 2016. Let's get back in this thing. Let's get back in the playoffs.
Thank you again for watching. Again, our final score, Lake Orion 17, the Farmington Falcons 13. For all of us here at ONTV, you want to do it?
Good night.
Good night, everyone.